Hey, if you picked up a Donner Hush 1 silent practice guitar and you're having a blast with it like I am, you're going to want to drop a humbucker into it and have even more fun. Here's how I did it. Quick disclaimer on this, you do need to modify how your pickup mounts and you can't go back. So make sure you watch the whole video before you decide to do this. And you're going to want to just use a generic pickup. You're not going to want to do this to a Seymour Duncan or a DiMarzio unless you've got tons of money, in which case go for it. To start, remove the electronics pack by taking out the 2 screws on the side and 2 on the bottom. To disconnect the output jack from the board, push down on the little lever and pull straight back on the connector. Finally, take the small audio jack that connects the piezo to the PC board and slide it gently straight back, and the board is free. Remove the truss rod cover by removing the single screw in the middle. Next, gently lift the piezo pickup up out of the saddle and then gently guide it through the small hole so it comes out the bottom of the guitar body. This hole is pretty tight, so I had to be gentle and work hard to be sure I didn't break the wire, but it does come out. Finally, unscrew the 2 small screws for the 1/4-inch output jack and gently slide out that cable. Now this will only pull out a little ways because the ground wire is still connected. So just pull on the gray cable only and pull the 3-pin connector back into the cable hole and pull it back past the bridge so that it's out of the way of the router bit when we start to route the pickup pocket. Now just wrap and tape that cable so that it stays in place and stays nice and protected. Now you'll have to trust me on this, but here are all my calculations and measurements needed to locate the pickup so it didn't hit any of the internal workings of the Hush 1. The pocket dimensions need to be 2.75 wide by 1.55 high, and the pocket edge needs to be 0.3 inches away from the edge of the bridge. This is the only place the pickup will fit properly. And the depth of the pocket can only go down 0.58 inches, otherwise your pickup will hit the 3-pin connector for your output jack. You can see the whole pocket in this graphic. For the router fixture, I made a simple template from 1/2-inch plywood with cutouts for the saddle and tuners, so I wouldn't have to pull them off the guitar to make the route, and I also made a cutout for the neck. I used a 1/4-inch standard router bit and set my router outer frame so that it stayed perfectly within the pickup pocket dimensions needed. I also made a simple backing frame to hold the body in place and covered both top and bottom frames with thick duct tape so I didn't scratch the guitar body. Then just route the pocket slowly about 1/8 of an inch at a time until you get to a 0.58 inch depth. Unscrew the fixture, take your guitar out, and here's what the finished pocket looks like. Here's the finished pocket with dimensions shown. The last bit of woodworking you need to do is for the mini switch so you can select between the humbucker and the piezo. I used a 3/4-inch Forstner bit and drilled down about 1.5 inches right on the curve of the body. And then finally you use a 5/16 drill bit to connect the original Donner pocket to the switch hole so you can route the wires. Now, quick word of warning here. As you can see, I put the hole for the switch wires slightly too far back, and it made the wires very tight against the battery compartment when I put all this back together again. So best to put the wire hole only about 1 inch back from the edge of the guitar. Okay, now that all the woodworking is done, we can move on to modifying the pickup. I used a generic $10 humbucker from Amazon. With a small set of pliers, simply bend off the height tabs on both sides. Repeat the process to bend off all 6 adjustment screw ends. Get a piece of semi-flexible plastic sheet. I cut this off the back of a school notebook. This one's blue for the video, but I used black in the final guitar. Holding the pickup steady and using a pencil, mark around the outer edge of the pickup coils. It should look like this when you're done. With a razor, make a small slit in the plastic just to get your scissors started. Cut on the inside edge of the line at first and check for the fit to the pickup coils. After a few trims, it should fit snug and under the lip of the coil as seen here, and it should sit flat, adjust as needed. Now the cut on this blue plastic is going to be hidden by the edge of the pickup coil, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. Now you have to use the thicker bridge pickup ring, not the thinner neck pickup ring. Take about a 5-inch strip of 2-inch shipping tape and place it on a flat board, sticky side up. Take the bridge pickup ring and place it face down on the adhesive of the tape. Now take your pickup ring with the tape and slowly lower it over onto the coils of the pickup, making sure the coils are centered up and down and left and right as best you can by eye. Now you have one solid assembly that can't move while you finish the process. Then fold up the extra tape onto the long side of the pickup ring so it will act as a mask when you put the epoxy in. If you need more tape, now's the time to do it. Make sure the sides are covered with tape so they are masked off. Now slide the blue spacer down over the back of the pickup onto the pickup ring. Trim down the edges of the spacer until it fits nicely into the inner edge of the pickup ring as shown here. Mix up a small batch of standard JB weld. Using a toothpick, carefully apply the JB Weld on top of the blue spacer to fill the gap between the pickup ring and the bottom edge of the pickup itself. You only need to apply epoxy on the two long edges of the pickup. Use a toothpick or a popsicle stick and smooth out and flatten the JB Weld so it stays well below the edge of the pickup ring. Wipe off any excess JB Weld that may have been spilled over with a paper towel. Remember, none of this is ever going to be seen, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. After 24 hours, carefully remove the tape and you will have a nice strong pickup assembly mounted directly to its mounting ring. And as you can see, our pickup thickness under the ring is now 0.54 inches, so it will fit nicely into our pocket. Now I know this means we lose all the mechanical height adjustment of our pickup, but we just don't have the room in the Hush 1. And as you can see here from the fully assembled guitar, the strings end up about 1/8 of an inch away from the pickup poles, so they are pretty much right where you want them. The wiring is next, and it's just standard electric guitar wiring, so I won't bore you with watching me solder a bunch of wires. You're just going to run the two piezo wires to one side of the switch and the two humbucker wires to the other side of the switch. The center poles of the switch now go to the input of your Donner PC board. Now it is a bit scary cutting the Donner piezo wire, but you really have no choice. You have to use this to go to the center part of the switch, and you have to use this connector to plug back into your PC board. And you'll also need some extra wire to extend this over to the switch because once you cut it, it's not long enough to get there. And as always with any electric guitar wiring, keep your wires as short as you can because there's just not a lot of room in this guitar. Now the only part of this project that didn't go as planned was how I was going to dress up the toggle switch when it was mounted. My original plan was to make a matching wood disc, stain it to match, recess it a bit, and permanently glue it in so it looked like it came from the factory that way. But obviously you can see I didn't get the stain to match, that's not even close. What I didn't see was that when I drilled the hole for the switch, the edges of the hole got chipped up when I first started drilling, and no matter what I did, I couldn't hide the chips and make it look any better. So I just got a very thin steel washer and bent it to match the curve of the body. I painted it black and used the switch nut to hold it on. It ended up looking okay, but it wasn't what I originally planned. Now just center the pickup, pre-drill your mounting holes, and mount the pickup. And believe me, the pickup pocket is very tight, so there is very little movement left to right, so the pickup pretty much falls right into the center of the strings. Now you just remount your 1/4-inch output jack back in place, connect the 3-pin output connector, and connect the Donner pickup connector back to the PC board, and put the electronics pack back in place. Be sure to gently pull all the new wires toward the outside of the guitar body in front of the battery compartment so the wires have room when you close up the pack. Okay, so let's give it a try. First up is the Donner Piezo Bridge Pickup, acoustic mode. Nothing, this is just clean straight into my DAW. Okay, so now we lower the volume, flip over to the humbucker, and I just have this going through my Boss GT001 on a basic distortion setup. And here we go. Sounds pretty good. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun doing this project. Just for the record, the total budget for this was just under $30. The pickup was about $10, the switch was $2, and the wood was about $15. I got it all at Home Depot, and that's for the entire fixture you saw in the video. So if you like this video, please leave a like, send it to your friends, leave any comments, and be sure to look forward next time to my next video with more mods on the Donner Hush 1. Thanks for watching.